Welcome back everyone to Pontos Fathom Hobbies. This is our setup round for season 14 of Eldritch Horror, and we are back to the Dreamlands playing against Atlach-Natcha, the Dream Weaver. This is a pretty monstrous looking spider thing that will be our main villain. When we play with the Dreamlands, so we've got the Dreamlands sideboard set up, and we'll kind of go through the setup this round. We'll talk a little bit about the lore of the episode, and we'll go into our character introductions, and then we'll get kicking off into action with round one. So before we jump into it, quick shout out to our channel sponsor, Pontos Fathom Press. This is our bookstore. The link is down below. If you're interested in the bizarre world of reality and the rise of artificial intelligence, check out August Moldenhauer's Artificial Psychology of Desiring Machines, Volume 1, Impedance and Admittance in Desiring Machines, Volume 2, Psychoanalysis of Artificial Intelligence. Volume 3 is upcoming Computational Complexity and Psychiatric Agency. This will be available next year, but it's in proof right now. You can also go check out our other ones, Cthulhu-based games. We've got Cthulhu-based books, so check out our sponsors. If books are not your thing, please hit us up on our Patreon. And as usual, appreciate your guys' time watching these videos. If you enjoy them, please like, subscribe, ring the bell to get notified. Like I said, I can't believe we're on season 14 of Eldritch Horror already. This started out kind of as a thing to do during the lockdown, and now it's sort of taken on a life of its own. So we're looking to build the channel, and happy that you guys are here. Leave your comments below. I read all the comments and looking to get this to a live stream. So let's get into the setup of Dreamlands. One of the things in the Dreamland setup is Dreamlands comes with two great old ones. You could either play Hypnos, who we played in an earlier season. So you guys can go check out our other Dreamlands where we played Hypnos. But it says if you don't have Hypnos, you can't use the sideboard. But I'm like, that's no fun. We have to use the sideboard. So it says you can use the sideboard if Hypnos is not the great old one, if you've got the Otherworldly Dream Prelude card, right? So it says the Dreamland sideboard is used by Hypnos, the Ancient One, and the Otherworldly Dreams Prelude card. So maybe we'll read this old friend's intro, and we'll read Atlach-Natcha. We'll read our Prelude card, and then we'll go into our characters, and then we'll kind of wrap it up for setup. So by the way, for the setup, we're also playing with Final Mythos Forgotten Endings expansion. We've got a video down below to check those out. We also have the Dream tokens, I guess they're called the Dream Quest tokens, so we'll get those all set up. We've got our adventures, and we've got our gateways to the Dreamland sideboard, so we'll get all that ready. I've also removed, up to the top of the decks, I've moved mostly our cards for the Dreamlands. After that, I've shuffled them down, so these have all been shuffled, but with a skew towards our Dreamlands encounter, so I thought that would be cool. And we also have our encounter, not research, but our Dreamlands encounter cards, just for an encounter over on the sideboard. So let's go into the old friends. It says, stepping off the lightly rocking ship, Luke Robinson took a deep breath in the salt-filled air, relishing in the gentle breeze rolling off the Cenarian Sea over the port of Celephas. The shining city sprawled eastward, climbing the ginkgo-covered slopes of Mount Aran. The mountain whose snow-capped peak loomed silently in the distance covered the lake, and Luke had a sense of safety, though he knew it to be false. Waiting for him at the end of the dock, a lavishly dressed man reached out to him. He goes, we're off to see Kuranes. Luke shivered. Despite the pleasant warmth of the noon sun drawing his coat around him, the Dreamlands are no exception, Luke said. That's why I'm here, my old friend. I mean to stop him. Turning back toward Kuranes, Luke put a hand on his friend's shoulder. Come, there is much to discuss. So we'll see if Atlach-Natcha gets to expand here. Let's read the Atlach-Natcha card, and then we can read our otherworldly dreams. It says, Atlach-Natcha, after weaving, ever weaving, should Atlach-Natcha ever complete her Empyrean masterpiece, It would merge the firmaments of the Dreamlands and reality into a single cosmic ingress, opening the way for the horrors of the underworld to wage war upon the cities of humanity. Wow, the Dreamweaver has a crazy backstory. We also have our Otherworldly Dreams card that we can read through here. So it says, Otherworldly Dreams. You raise your right hand and inspect it, opening and closing it slowly. It seems real enough. The rest, though, you are not so sure. All around you, the colossal ferns and unnatural twisted trees of an alien forest sway gently in an unfamiliar breeze. Then, as suddenly as the strange forest appeared, it vanishes, returning you to the familiar confines of your hotel room. Just a dream, then, you tell yourself, even as you brush away a twisted leaf that somehow came to rest upon your shoulder. Wow, that's cool. I like that kind of concept of, you're dreaming, they wake up, and then there's something from the dream that came through the dream and came back into reality. Sort of like Constantine when he comes back from hell with that hospital bracelet, or even the Paprika anime film, right? So these are all Dreamland inspired things. So we've got the basic board set up. Let's go into our investigators. First off, we've got George Barnaby, the lawyer. George Barnaby, the lawyer. He starts out on India, space 17, urban India, it says. And it says, as a lawyer, he also starts out with the investment and the pocket watch. So he gets those. His stats are pretty good, 4 and 8. Let's hear his backstory. As a lawyer, George had a long career holding those who deal in human suffering accountable to the law. Recently, George retired and brought a boat to travel the world with his beloved wife, Maria. But everything changed one morning in Bombay. George left the boat to get breakfast, and on his way back, he passed Westerners dressed in black suits, all wearing silver rings that bore the image of a skull. Inside the boat, it should be the image of an octopus, right? Or a spider in this case, right? He found Maria's body surrounded by occult symbols inside the boat. His sole reason for living now is to the pursuit of justice for Maria. And George, the lawyer, also has an action that he can do. Once per round, he can spend a focus to add 1 to the results of 1 die. And also, for each test success, another investigator of your choice may discard a debt condition or a detained condition. So he can kind of legal you out of debt or detained state. So he kind of can make it all work. So yeah, he's pretty cool. I've also got his backstory, George Barnaby's backstory, that we're going to include in this game. Last couple of games we haven't played the backstories, but I'm kind of going to go back to it for this one. It says, My sweet Maria, the list of names you have acquired grows larger and larger, and you refuse to stop until every last one of the men involved in Maria's murder are dead. This is like Memento, right? He's on the case. When a cultist monster is defeated or discarded, place 1 Eldritch token on this card. If there are 3, you get the Justice reward. So he gets that reward, so we'll just place these beside his board. Next up in our series of investigators, we've got Daryl Simmons. Daryl Simmons, the photographer. And he starts on Jakarta, Indonesia, which is space 20. He also has a backstory, which reads, he starts out with the camera, because he's a photographer, which is cool, and also seek the truth. These are his assets that he starts with. Let's check his story. Daryl Simmons will never forget the night he saw an indescribable horror emerge from the shadows of his hometown of Arkham. Oh, an Arkham boy. Since that fateful night, the horror of what he saw permeates his every dream. Resolved to capture photographic evidence to prove what he saw, he has dedicated his life to pursuing rumors of supernatural sightings, the latest of which has brought him to an ancient burial ground in Indonesia. One good shot is all that he needs, and there's no way he'll let it slip through his fingers. Wow, that's pretty cool. So Daryl has the action of take a look at the top 5 cards of the asset deck, and then discard any number of cards from the reserve. And then he can add additional die when resolving a research encounter test, or a location encounter if he's on a city space. Okay, cool. His backstory, quickly. Daryl Simmons, the photographer, is 1,000 words. You keep your camera with you at all times, even while you sleep. You're going to get that picture, and you're going to do it before it's too late to stop what is coming. So his idea is, his backstory is he's kind of trying to find that photo that's the photographic proof, and that's his reward. He gets a photographic proof after he gets 3 Eldritch tokens on his card. So again, we'll leave these here for him. And he's got 7 health and 5 sanity. And finally, we've got our third and last investigator, Tony Morgan, the bounty hunter. He comes with the handcuffs. Tony Morgan starts out in Bogota, Colombia, space number 7. And his story reads, Tony's tracked down low-life scum in every lousy corner of the... Tony's tracked down every low-life scum in every lousy corner of the world. But nothing was quite as bad as Innsmouth, some creep in the boss... Let me start over. Tony tracked down low-life scum in every lousy corner of the world. But nothing was quite as bad as Innsmouth. Some creep in Boston skipped bail and tried to hide with the family in a small fishing village. It turned out family meant vicious fish-like monstrosities that left Tony bloody and half-drowned. So this is like the Dagon story, right? Or the Shadow over Innsmouth. Ever since he's found a new kind of dirtbag to hunt, ordinary mobster or otherworldly mobster, Tony will take it down and find someone willing to pay him for it. Now he's got a lead in Bogota. Easy money. Okay, so he's down in Bogota. He gets an extra action test where he can spend up to 2 focus to gain 1 clue for each focus spent. When he defeats a monster, he gains a focus. Well, that's pretty cool. So he gets focuses and can turn focuses into clues. Starts with the handcuffs. And finally, he's got a backstory of a trophy hunter, the thrill of the hunt. You check and recheck your guns, making certain that all is ready. These marks are going to be tough, and they usually are, but you can handle it. That's what you do. When you defeat a non-epic monster during combat, place the monster on this card, and then if he gets enough, he gets the trophy. So let's leave him on the side. And Atlach-Natcha starts out on the Doom track at 9, so we'll get that set up. We will place the token here. We've got our first otherworldly encounter token that will go on the enchanted wood on the sideboard. Maybe I should move the sideboard to this side. Let me think about it. And then we also have our encounter, expedition encounter token on Arkham. We will spawn a gate and put the initial clues on the board and these Dreamlands tokens before we start up turn 1. So thanks for watching, guys. Check out the links for the next turn. As you guys know, these are all a playlist, so if you want to just play the playlist right through, you can go ahead and do that, and we'll see you in turn 1. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.